Behind me is the historic Fugar Bar orchard. It's been derelict now for somewhere in the region of 50 to 60 years, and in front of me is the site of the former Fugar House, a great medieval house that was pulled down in the early 1950s. Now we have a proposal. What we want to do is to restore the orchard to what it would have been perhaps 100 years ago when it was a working orchard for Fugar House. But Fugar Bar area is packed full of history going back at least to the medieval period. And the proposals that we have in them, we want to draw out the history of Fugar Bar as well. Fugar Bar sits next to this quite deep and narrow dean, and it's been formed by this stream that runs through it and joins up with the Black Burn in Washingwell Woods. Here in the dean itself, there seems to have been some kind of structure here previously. You can see lots of ceramic tiles and pipes that are embedded into the bank. They've obviously been here for some time, and the recent heavy rains have washed away a lot of the soil here to expose these tiles. You can see another one there as well, and a lot of these stones seem to be dressed stone, as if they were part of some previous building. So clearly there's a lot of history still waiting to be discovered here in the Fugar Bar area. One of the most interesting historical features of the Fugar Bar area is the culvert, which is at the top end of the dean, next to the road and the Tanfield Railway. And that's it there, the flat top. It's likely to have been culverted in the 15 or 1600s when the first wagonway went through the area. Well, this is where the Tanfield Railway footpath now runs. You can hear the vehicles right in the background, because right behind this embankment is the A692, and then as a turnaround we've got one corner of the orchard there, and then down here is the dean, and literally right below our feet is the culvert. This is the top corner of the Fugar Bar orchard, and this is one of the very, very old pear trees. Well, we're now in the orchard proper, and as you can see, it is completely overgrown and quite impenetrable. That's one of the old pear trees in the distance there. What we'd like to do is restore this to something as it would have been about 100 years ago when it was the orchard for Fugar House. Believe it or not, there's actually the site of a pond here This is next to the trackway leading to where Fugar House once stood. And if I just swing the camera around, you can see over there where the vehicles are going past. That's where the Tanfield Railway would have crossed what is now the A692. Now, the pond here probably wouldn't have been a pond for supplying Fugar House with fish. Instead, it may well have been a pond for running vehicles through, for running the wagons through when the Tanfield Railway first opened as a wooden wagonway. And the pond would have soaked the wheels of the wagons, keeping them damp and reducing the possibility that those wheels those wooden wheels could have caught fire when running along the wooden tracks carrying coal 300-400 years ago. Well, a few years ago there was a partial restoration of the pond, and as you can see it's been partly dug out, but then the project ended and it's just been left idle since then. So one of our ideas is to try to restore this pond to something as it would have been a couple of hundred years ago, maybe 300 years ago. It's on the corner of this track here where Fugar House would have stood. So at one point there would have been a great medieval house sitting on this location here. Sadly it's now gone, but it adds colour to the history of the Fugar Bar site. The Fugar Bar area is within the Watergate Country Park area. That means it's in council ownership, and we've already got the council interested in helping a community-led project to restore this area. Now, emphasis on community-led. We don't want this to be council-led, we want the community and interested individuals, and particularly interested community organisations, to take a lead on restoring this site to something that will be a great asset to the Wickham, Sunnyside, Streetgate and Lobley Hill area.